Hey guys, Midget here and welcome to another episode of my Walking Dead videos. Today we're reviewing episode 6 of season 5 and it's called Consumed. Okay, so this episode was actually a pretty decent episode. It started off with a flashback when Carol leaves Rick and what happens afterwards. For example, we see that Carol cries in a car, gets angry at a walker, then she decides to spend a night at some random place that we don't even know, and she sees from that place that the prison's on fire as she sees the smoke, so she decides to go there immediately and also see the destruction the governor has made on the prison. So that's what happens basically before the what's it called, the first credits, the opening. Sorry, I'm really tired again. I don't know what it is now. I'm just getting really tired all of a sudden. But that's when the credits start, and then they tail Daryl and Carol tailed the car into Atlanta, which they've been doing for quite a long time in our real life since we saw them go. I think it was 2 episodes ago now. We saw Daryl come back last episode, obviously, but 2 episodes ago I think they went after the car. So we see them going to Atlanta and watch the car like drop something off, if you know what I mean. A guy came out of the car and dropped something on the floor and drove off, and that's when Daryl and Carol couldn't go any further because they had no petrol. But then they found a place to sleep, which was Carol's sort of old workplace or something, and Carol and Daryl talk about the just random stuff, and they go to bed together. But a walker disrupts them, so they sort of go and kill the walker, and yeah, basically that's all that happens. Carol then goes to sleep and wakes up to Daryl burning the walkers that disrupted them, because Carol initially wanted them to kill the walkers, but Daryl I think thought and had some sense that they're former colleagues, so don't bother killing them. So just like me do it. That's what he thought, and she woke up, got a knife, and she found out that Daryl was burning her colleagues, which she thank you, said nicely, I guess. But then they walk into someone else's building, and someone's following them. You just see for a split second a head behind a car, and I was like, that's Noah straight away. I just predicted it. I don't know how, but I guess everybody's predicting that they're going to meet Noah, and Carol's going to be faking going into the hospital just to meet Beth, and it was sort of along those lines. But as they go into the building and they just talk about random stuff, they spot one of those like hospital van things with the crosses, so they decide to go and check it out, and that's when Noah meets them with a Barrett 50 cal, I believe it was, or some sort of sniper rifle, and steals their guns and goes, "You're hard, so I'll leave you to it." And he just tears holes in the tents they were walking past with loads of walkers, and they kill them. And Daryl makes Carol drop the gun that she was going to shoot Noah with, not in the head, obviously. She said that I wasn't meant to kill him, I was meant to shoot him in the leg. And then she goes on this huge tantrum. But they walk to that van and see that there's a massive herd approaching. So Daryl first of all mentions the Grady Memorial Hospital, which Carol was like, yep, it's a couple of meters down the road. And also they go in the thingy, the walkers, the herd that was like coming, started pushing the van they were in, and as they were on the brink of like the thingy, they tilted and tilted until they finally fell. And Carol has this massive, not massive, but she got cut there, and that's basically everything. So that was the last break, and now this is the most entertaining part of the episode. I think it's where Daryl and Carol talk about the past selves and how they evolved. So Carol, for example, said to Daryl he used to be a boy, but now he's a man. And she mentioned something about Sophia and Ed. She got beat up by Ed, and she thought it would happen and not happen. Blah blah blah. And then she burned that Carol, and then in the prison she was something she wanted to be, but again she burned that Carol. And she's like, and Daryl's like, no, you didn't burn anything. But as they were going into that, then they started talking about the painting on the wall, and they heard gunshots. So they go to the towards the gunshots, and they see Noah, and Daryl, funnily enough, slams him into a bookshelf, and as he's like calling for help, he doesn't. Daryl just lights a cigarette and goes, "I'm not helping you," and walks. But Carol has more sense than Daryl and decides to kill the walker attacking Noah, and thankfully enough, she did that, because later on we do see that Noah tells them about the hospital, and he also confirms that Beth is there, as Daryl asks whether there was a blonde girl, and he's like, "Beth?" It's really funny. I kind of like it. And Carol gets then, we see what happens to Carol. Carol gets like run over, and Daryl really wants to help her, and Noah's just holding him back, telling him what they're gonna do to save Carol later on, which I mean is fair enough. So then we just see Noah and Daryl sneaking past loads of walkers and into a car and driving, and that's how the episode ends. So a very short review from me today. I like this episode. I mean, I like this episode. It was far better than last week's episode. I really did enjoy it. It wasn't one of the best episodes by all means, but I really did like this episode. That's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Obviously, it lacks some things. For example, loads of character development. We saw the flashbacks from Carol, but they weren't amazing flashbacks. They didn't tell us much, except what happened after the first flashback before the credits was the best flashback. But there wasn't much character development. There was alright action. So, I mean, 8 out of 10 isn't a bad mark, if you know what I mean. So I love how Noah got invited into the group, or you know what I mean, and the action and also the flashbacks I all loved. But you also just missed a couple of things. But that's basically everything, guys. So questions? I've not really got any. I'm thinking the top of my head now. Is Carol seriously injured? Well, let's hope not. But by how she got run over or whatever it was, I do think that was some broken bones, you know what I mean. She's already got one broken collarbone, I think it was, maybe, and she's got a broken leg and hip maybe now. So hopefully it's not too serious, but it was probably very serious. When will they get Beth back? I believe it is gonna be next episode, but you don't know. Maybe it's gonna be in the mid-season finale when they get Rick, because I think Noah and Daryl might have been. Yeah, there was. They travelled back to Rick's church. That just sounds really the church, to get the remaining survivors. So they're going to get them, and maybe so I believe the mid-season finale is going to be the whole thing saving Beth and having the final go at Dawn. So what I mean, like, next episode 7 is just going to be Carol and Beth, half of it, and then the other half is going to be Rick and everybody getting to the hospital. So we're gonna, it's just going to be like a filler episode basically, and then episode 8 in the mid-season finale is going to be the showdown with the group. That's what my prediction is anyway. But then will Noah die? I'm just giving you the characters. So will Noah die? Will Carol die? Will Beth die? Or will Daryl die? Out of them four, who is most likely? I do believe Noah still has a lot lot to do in the show. Like he's an alright character. He could develop. He's alright. So I mean, I don't think Noah would die. Carol, I think, although Carol is still got that love triangle to do with Beth and Daryl, I think she's probably as maxed out as you can get. She's a very good character. She's developed loads over the course of the series, but obviously she's maxed out. She's the character development in her. You can't get any better. So I mean, she's probably likely to die, but I doubt she will. I think she's just too strong, and they wouldn't kill her. Will Beth die? Everybody's been saying she's going to die, but she's proved everybody wrong, so I'm just going to go no, because everyone just like calls her off and is like, Beth's going to die, but she never does, and Daryl obviously not. If they made Daryl die, I mean, that holds a bloody uprising along in America, even in England or the UK, or cause a huge uprising. So anyway, that was basically the review, guys. Sorry if I'm looking a bit tired or a bit dull talking today. But anyway, if you did enjoy this episode, guys, if you make sure to hit the like button below. And so this is Midget, and I'm going to see you guys later. Peace out.